right, welcome back to the channel. So, Deontay Wilder tells Tyson Fury to kick rocks. He ain't fighting in 2021. Also, I got a rematch clause, so there ain't nothing you can do about it. And resurfacing news, Floyd Mayweather Jr. tells Deontay Wilder that he would be happy to train him to help him beat Tyson Fury. Let's talk about those things and the fact that Bob Arum also said that this fight it won't be in December. On the original date, it was supposed to be in December, but it might be sooner. No, it will not. Let's talk about those things in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, the former WBC champion, one of the most underappreciated boxers, heavyweight boxers, definitely in the last 40 years, probably since the early 1960s, when there was a guy named Sonny Liston who was on a tear in the heavyweight division, beating guys like Cleveland Williams, Zora Foley, Eddie Mason, knocking out Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Patterson, the original Floyd Patterson, 2 times, and having everybody in the boxing world just disgusted by this guy and wanting him out of the sport of boxing so bad that they actually liked for 5 minutes Muhammad Ali. But when I look at Deontay Wilder, that's what I think about him. I think that this guy is somebody that is truly underappreciated. But the further we get away from his career, the more that we are going to appreciate what it is that Deontay Wilder has done. This guy has had, 10 title defenses, 10 successful title defenses of his WBC belt, having beaten, and also having won an Olympic bronze medal. The guy has 42 wins, of which 40 of his 42 wins are knockouts, which is a knockout percentage of 95.2%. It's absolutely bananas how effective Deontay Wilder is or has been in that ring, despite the fact that there's so many people that just can't do anything but trash the man for one reason or another. If it's not the level of his competition, it is his skill set. If it's not his skill set, it's that he's not saying anything now, and it's just, or he hasn't fought anybody. It's just absolutely ridiculous, man, that a guy that could accomplish as much as Deontay Wilder has accomplished should have to hear half of the nonsense that he hears from these boxing fans. But regardless, they're gonna have to hear him one more time, because even though he lost to Tyson Fury in the fight, the last fight that took place this year, the second of the 2 fights, Deontay Wilder has a rematch clause. So consequently, Tyson Fury has no choice but to take a fight with Deontay Wilder. So if Deontay Wilder says, look, man, I'm not going to take this fight before 2021, and there's multiple reasons why he wouldn't do that, that's just going to have to be what it is. But let's talk about that. And also, we're going to go through this thing real quickly about Floyd Mayweather Jr. having offered to train Deontay Wilder. I don't really know why that is resurfacing, because I think that's something that's a bit old. But let's talk about it, man. Now, first things first, where did I get this that Deontay Wilder tells Tyson Fury? No, that is from 78 Sports TV. If you go check out 78 Sports TV in his channel, you will see that there's multiple interviews on there with Deontay Wilder, and there will be interviews from Deontay Wilder way before he fought for a heavyweight title. There are interviews between 78 Sports TV and Deontay Wilder where Deontay Wilder is a prospect that 78 Sports TV is supporting. So when 78 Sports TV is letting you know something is going on with the champ, you know that he is specific. He's talking to him directly, and has definitely been the best media source from the beginning to this point in Deontay Wilder's career. And 78 Sports TV said, look, the champ said that he didn't want that fight until 2021. So, but why could it be that Deontay Wilder does not want that fight until 2021? Well, from what we know, there are two reasons that would be the case. First things first, as Steve Kim reported back on April 15th, 2020, in an article for ESPN, Deontay Wilder had surgery on his bicep after the fight took place. So now, Deontay Wilder, who has been very, very active over the last 5 years, fighting 2 times a year, 2 championship level fights a year for the last 5 years. You know, Deontay Wilder is not a guy like Tyson Fury who was able to, despite, you know, I'm sure Tyson Fury not signing up for it, right? Tyson Fury keeps getting these involuntary layoffs, right? So Tyson Fury took a 2-year involuntary layoff between his fight with Vladimir Klitschko and his comeback fight against, I think that was, I do believe that was Sefi Safiri. Sefi Safiri, or was that Pineda? Pineda or Safiri were the fighters that he came back, but he took a 2-year layoff. Deontay Wilder has never had this year layoff, which is, I think that it's going to be will be the longest rest period Deontay Wilder has had in his career. And he has had, again, over 42 fights. So that could definitely be one reason that he didn't want to do it. And then the other thing is, obviously, and this should be the case for both of the fighters, the case is that the gate is just so big. The gate is so big for the fight for Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 that you just have to say, hold on, man, it's not worth shortchanging yourself by making it this year, especially when it seems like in the early part of next year to the mid part of 2021 that that you might actually be able to get crowds. There are reports that the Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia fight might actually be fought in front of a crowd in Dallas, Texas. And I think it is in Arlington. I think it might be in Arlington, where they have a capacity of I think it's AT&T Stadium where they were going to be, because the last time that they fought, I think that there was 47,000, roughly 47,000 people in attendance for the first one. Yeah, Spence. Yeah, it was the AT&T Stadium where he beat Mikey Garcia by unanimous decision in front of 47,525 people. And this fight that they're talking about being taking place between Danny Garcia and Errol Spence Jr. in Dallas, this is something that has recently come up. Now that they believe can be as many as 21,708 people at that fight. So now that you know that things are starting to open up some more, and we're starting to be able to get crowds at events, it just doesn't make sense for somebody that had the 7th largest gate in the history of Las Vegas and a 16,916,440 gate. That seems to me like that might be something you want to hold up. And make sure you can take advantage of. So, now Bob Arum said something where Bob Arum was saying, hey, well, this fight's not going to be on December 19th like it was originally planned. Maybe it will be held a little bit, beforehand. It could be before that. No, it's not. No, it is not. Stop telling stories. Look, if it would come before December 19th, what is the date of today? Today is October 1st, right? That's 12 weeks out. It's 12 weeks out to December 17th. If you move it up, 2 weeks? Now you're at 10 weeks out, 11 weeks out, and 10 weeks out. No, these guys aren't even anywhere near entering into the training camp. And I don't think that there's been serious negotiations about moving that fight to one venue or another. And Bob Arum is being very specific that he believes that the fight is still going to take place in the same location, which is Las Vegas. Nah, I don't think it's going to happen for multiple reasons. One is Deontay Wilder, and the fact that the dude is not taking a rest psychologically, it makes sense for him after having coming off that loss. Now, if he is going to take Mayweather's suggestions and work with Mayweather, if that is something that is truly fresh, Deontay Wilder, I doubt very much that he wouldn't be open to doing that. He seems like that type of fella, but just assume for the sake of that he takes that into consideration and does it. There's also, we know, been changes to his camp, so they're going to have to work all that stuff out. I do not see this fight happening on before December 19th, and I don't see it happening until Deontay Wilder is good and ready for it to happen, because ultimately it's his decision, because it's his rematch clause, because he was the champion and he didn't have to fight Tyson Fury. So people are just going to have to sit on that and live with it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. Thank you so much for supporting the channel as a channel members, as Patreons, in the super chats for the live streams. And with that, I'm out. Peace.